Hi, it's Marcia Caradinsa again with the Frolicking Fairy. I'm back with just a couple more coloring additions to the I'm Wishing stamp set from Kindred Stamps. I just recorded myself coloring the Fair Princess, but I wanted to show you how you can add some extra details to the images if you like. I've done this on some other characters. I don't think I've recorded myself doing it. So I wanted to show you guys how you can do that and how it's pretty easy to do. So just grab a little pencil and sketch in the additional details you want. So for example, on the old looking witch lady, I wanted to define her eyeballs better and break up some of this open space in her mouth and add a tongue line. And then for the queen, I thought about adding some more detailed lines within her crown. Again, you don't have to do this. This is just to give you an example of how I've done it on other characters I've colored. Okay, so again, just sketch in lightly with a pencil. Don't push too hard because you're going to erase those lines. Now you could choose to just use these as a guide, color, and then erase it afterwards, or you could go in with a Copic multiliner or any of the multiliner pens that will work well with whatever your coloring medium is. So I'm going to use the 0.1, and I'm going to try to do this on camera as easily as I can. Usually I have to hover right above it because I don't want to have wiggly hands, because once you put that line down, it is down. So I'm going to come in here and just try to do one big loop. And if it's not perfect, it's not really going to matter that much because you're going to add the color. So please don't beat yourself up too much if it's not exactly where you want it. So the eyes, I'm going to try to go a little more carefully, but try not to have wiggle lines. So I'm going to go little bits first, turn my paper. See, it's not exactly round there, but I think it'll still add the definition I want. See, it's a little darker. Again, I know my lines are not as steady, and once it's down, it's down. So don't be afraid to just get in there and try it. See, it's not perfect, but I still think it adds a lot of fun, extra character to the image. Okay, so for the queen's crown, I thought about doing that instead of with the liner, going in with the color. So we're going to add lighter yellow all over the crown and then add darker into the center part. So I'm going to come over here, add that lighter yellow over the entire image there, over my pencil lines. And then take that golden, gold brown blend. Let me test that darker color because I'm not sure it's going to be too dark. We're going to go with that in the mid-tone. That's one that I seem to use more often. And then you can be a little more sketchy with this as you would when you add the pencil line initially. Versus using the multi-liner, you can't really do that. You don't want that heathered kind of look. These are going to be a bit easier. Just kind of doing a V there. And then coming in here and just darkening this up. Now, depending on how light your pencil lines are, you could decide to leave them. I could leave these in here. They add a little bit more dimension in there. I'll erase some out here, just to show you the difference. They do get sealed in a little bit, but it doesn't disrupt the image from my own personal liking, so I'm happy with that. And let's see, I will take take the darker one and just come over here on the side. I'm not going to do too much here. I don't want to lose I don't want to lose those lines we just made. I'm going to just come up here and then pull that out. I don't know if you could just hear my belly. Oh my goodness. It shouldn't be a growl. I ate something. And then I'm going to use the lighter one just here on the lighter yellow part. Let me go darker just here along the bottom. I just added a dot up the side and leave there. Go back to that light yellow. Ooh. And dot that back over. So it's subtle, but it adds another fun, detail element, if you will. Let's see. We can work on coloring her a little bit. My black marker is dead. So I'm going to just use my dark ice gray blend, or shades, excuse me, in a darker tone. And nope, not going to do that there. I lied. I have to do her skin first. I don't know if I want to do anything too much by... I was going to add something around her eyebrows, but I think I'll stay away from that. Mid-tone. I'm going to creep that up just a little bit there, because it's not really casting a shadow on her face. It's pretty tight to her head. I think I'll just use this mid-tone for the eyebrows. Now down to that lighter tone. I don't care about coloring over her lips. We're going to add other color to those later, so that doesn't matter. Or like I did with the Fair Princess, I'll do it off camera with a pen, which is what I should have done with her. But I hated leaving you with an incomplete image. Come in here. Well, I guess that's actually not supposed to be skin tone, but we'll just pretend it is. Okay, for this piece about her face, that is white, so we're going to go with the ice gray blend in the lighter shade. And I'm just going to come in here and pull this out just barely. And then I'll use my blender marker to make sure that it doesn't have a hard edge on it. I can put my hands on it. Where are you? It's usually right here in this little bag. Did I move it? There it is. I use this stinking colors blender all the time. It's like my favorite trick. Okay, and those bits of her sleeve are also going to be dress is a beautiful purple. I don't want to go too dark, so let's test this one. This is a lavender blend. Let's just check that mid-tone. We'll go with that one for right now. Let me see what the dark one looks like. Okay, we'll use the dark one here. Let's see, because her sleeves are actually a lighter purple. Oh well. Oops. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Mid-tone. Let me cap the darker end. And sometimes that happens. Some colors tend to bleed more. Some are just harder to blend. For me, purples are one of those. They just tend to be purples and blues in particular. We're just gonna try to add some more of those lines back in there. I'm not worried about the sleeving area because we're gonna add some color to that next. Just wanna make sure I get it into as many of the right spots as I can. Now we're going to go to the lighter tone. Okay, the inside of her sleeves, we'll make those about the same color, as well as her gloves are going to be that darker purple. And in this case, because it's such a small area, I'm going to do the darkest, and instead of adding another mid, I'm going to just pull out that color with the lighter tone there. Okay, and then, so what's interesting is her cape. You could either do it black, which is what the outer color, I guess, could be, or the inside of her cape, which I believe is what I'm looking at, is really red. So I am going to do that. I'm going to use red. I'm going to start with the darker of the dark red blends, and we're going to add some red where I think it's going to create those drapes. And yeah, I still get weirded out by this, doing this part. I feel like I'm just making a bunch of weirdo triangles, but just kind of trust the process a little bit. We'll work on that apple she's holding too. And just at the corners of her mouth with the darker color. Let's see. Ooh, my feet are going to sleep sitting like this in the chair. Okay, so now I'm going to shift to the mid. I'm going to come just over where I've got my weirdo triangles. I don't want to add a lot of extra color there. It's more just to kind of blend that out a bit once we start adding that in, the lighter tone. Kind of dotting it on there for the apple. I don't know if there's cape back there or not. We're gonna add cape back here for symmetry. Okay. Oh, I forgot our little eyelids. We'll add that next. So now I'm gonna go to the lighter of the red. I'm just gonna come in here. I'm not gonna try to shade it as much as I'm gonna just try not to get it all over the purple. I'm gonna dot this on here. It's hard for me to see, so I'm trying not to make a big mess of this. Now, if you want to be super fancy, you could use a pink. So you continue to pull that out, because with all the red saturation, the pink won't necessarily look so pink as it would just not oversaturate the red any more than you already have. I'm gonna have to clean up these edges. I'm okay with that. My greatest concern, as you can see, I've got it on some of the white of her very, very long sleeve cuffs. I wanted to try to avoid that as much as possible. But again, with these nibs not being a brush point, it's harder to get into some of those little spots. Again, obviously not a deal breaker for me on these markers. Dot it there on her mouth. You see I went off her mouth just a little bit. Again, I'm not going to kill myself over that. Let's see. Now we need to work on her stocking headpiece. So now we can go back to the ice gray blend, ice gray shades. I keep saying that wrong. And we're going to use that darker tone. And we're going to use the same marker, similar skin tones, things like that for her. So I don't think I need to color this one too, but you'll see, you know, we're going to be using very similar tones between the two of them. Oi. There we go. Darker one. Where to begin? Oi, I might have to pull this closer to me. I don't want to. You can still see that, I think. I'm trying to get that wee little space right there under her round little chin. Is it still a chin when their little heads are this round? Okay, phew. I'm going to pull all the way up. I'm going to do the same on this side. Pull all the way up. I'm going to come under here because surely that crown atop her head is going to create somewhat of a shadow. It looks like a pretty decent sized crown. You know what, I wasn't going to go all the way around it, but I will. Again, if you had black, you could come in very carefully around the edge there, if you wish. I'm going with that mid one. Just pulling out just a bit. I don't want to bleed that darker tone out. But that's okay. Now the lightest one, I'm going to come in here. And these, you're not going to see these strokes so much. So you can be a bit messier with that. Okay, so now I just need to take a brown, or if we're going to use the same colors as we've already been using, we can use the gold brown blend. the darker tone to add the stem to her apple because it's very small. And then we're going to color the medallion about her neck. I'm going to dab on that golden brown just there, and then use the lighter tone just to top. And then for the tassels, if you wanted, it would probably look really cool if you took a red gel pen and traced the lines. I, again, don't have any gel pens with me, but I do want to dot in just a bit of color just on the ends there so they don't look unfinished. I'm going to take that blender. Again, I told you I use this all the time for shine on the apple. I left a whiter spot, but I do want to kind of shine it a bit more and not with a gel pen. I like the way this does it better. It's going to come in. I think it creates a prettier shine, if you will. Okay. Oh yes, her eyelids. So we're going to take that lavender blend again, and I guess I'll try to just dot it in there carefully. You can barely see it, but it's there. And now for the twinkle in her evil little eyes. Because boy, does this lady have an eye twinkle. She's got a bigger lippy, so we'll add a bit there to the center. And I will add just a bit to there. And maybe here. Oops, did I smudge it or did it just not? Oi. Makes her look a little cross-eyed, doesn't it? I'm gonna whip my finger because this is not water. It's not water-based. Let that dry. Yes, I did. I licked my finger. Got to use the tools at your disposal. Just trying to pull some of that red out of there. Dot it over there. And clean up the bottom here. Again, most people aren't even going to notice that. They're going to just be super excited that you made them something. Her funny little eyes. I'll work on cleaning up the other one later. But anyways, I hope that gives you a little bit more insight. And I'll see you guys later.